Coming up tonight on YCN News, federal funding for road and bridge projects in New England could be on the way. Community Alliance of Human Services Executive Director Barbara Brill winds down her 18-year career with a success story. And Mount Sunapee holds its 41st annual Lake Sunapee Bike Race. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Monday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Federal funding for road and bridge projects in New England could be on the way now that a U.S. Senate Public Works Committee has advanced a 6-year, $265 billion transportation funding bill. The bill is working its way through Congress. Especially remaining hopeful that the funding will come through for Vermont is U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. If the money for infrastructure repairs is approved, $1.3 billion could be set aside for Vermont. Sanders helped draft the bill as a member of the Senate Transportation Committee. As Community Alliance of Human Services Executive Director Barbara Brill prepared to wind up her 18-year career at the Newport, New Hampshire agency last week, one success story immediately came to mind. Passage in the legislature last week of House Bill 650 establishing bus service along Route 120 between Claremont and Lebanon will help clients served by the Alliance. An amendment to the bill, as Claremont State Representative John Cloutier reports in the online newspaper E-Ticker, will allow the Alliance to begin seeking federal and private grant funding.
One of the big projects that we have coming up will be to work on identifying funding to actually see transportation service established on the Route 120 corridor, joining Claremont to the Upper Valley. The legislature just passed that bill, and I believe Representative Cloutier is trying to arrange for a ceremonial signing of the bill with Governor Hassan. And again, the next step for us is now finding the money. And so that's something that Liz and I met with people from DOT yesterday. We've met with the Planning Commission this week to try to get that project to come to fruition.
Brill also spoke of how the region will look in the future.
Certainly it will be older. I think one of the statistics that's coming out is that we are an aging population and we are aging faster than the national average. So we're looking to see many more seniors, and with that aging process comes the need for services. Our seniors are going to need housing, they're going to need transportation, they're going to need medical care, and so we need to be cognizant of that, and we need to be planning for that now, so that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we have even more people needing services and fewer services available.
Hi, this is Anita from Brattleboro Mobile at Exit 3. The store now offers more products you can pick up when you're on the go. Green Mountain Coffee, drinks and snacks, beer and wine, and hopefully your next winning lottery ticket. Also, Brattleboro Mobile has added diesel fuel to go along with the 3 different grades of superior mobile gasoline. And remember, we have a courteous staff, a brand new look, and a convenient location, all at Brattleboro Mobile. See you soon.
Brattleboro Mobile on the roundabout at Exit 3.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Mount Sunapee held its 41st annual Lake Sunapee Bike Race on Saturday. Over $3,400 worth of cash prizes were awarded to participants finishing the race. Laura James spoke with racers at the event. Let's join her now.
After a rainy night overnight, the skies have finally cleared and we are on the slopes of Mount Sunapee ski area in Newberry, New Hampshire. Now that's in the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region. And what we know is that it's also the location today of the 41st annual Sunapee Bike Race. It is an annual event, a big event that includes pros, masters, and men and women. Cyclists getting ready for the big event today, and I had a chance to speak to a couple of them before the race started. David Hildebrand, you're from Connecticut, and you're joining us today at Mount Sunapee.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for anything.
Now,
Even the weather.
I know, but it looks like it's holding off a little bit.
Yeah, this is great. Looking forward to it.
That's good news. Now tell me, have you done this race before?
I have a couple years ago. Yeah.
What's it like?
It's fun. It's fast. It's got some good rolling hills and usually good competition out here. So.
Bit of a climb, right?
Yeah, there's a few of them. It depends. It's all relative. When you're in the pack, we'll see how it goes.
There we go. Now tell me about the competition aspect.
So a lot of guys come out here. It's the week before Killington as well, which is up here in Vermont, and it's a good primer race to do it because of the way that the terrain is. And so we get a lot of guys that come out here that are pretty fit and good condition, ready to test their mettle and see what they can do.
Today is the annual Lake Sunapee Road Race. Spate here is racing in the Pro 123s. He'll be doing 68 miles, 3 laps around the lake. We have a sophomore girl and a junior girl who are racing in the Cat 4 women's race, and they're doing 1 lap around the course.
Now, Spate, we woke up to pouring rain. If it had continued raining, would that have been an issue?
No. I just would have brought my scuba gear out and my swim trunks, and I would have won.
Sounds good. Now, Drew, why is it important for Proctor and the kids at Proctor, more importantly, to be involved?
This is it's a USA cycling race, and the kids race Wednesdays and Saturdays in a prep school league. A prep school league. It started as a prep school league 30 plus years ago, but we've always had a couple local public high schools that race with us because more cyclists on the road, the better. But today is a much larger event. Like I said, it's USA cycling, and it's more than just high school kids. These guys are racing against. They're racing against men, women, some professional athletes, really very tough amateurs, and it's an introduction into what I consider a great positive cycling culture.
Sounds good. Spate, Drew, wish you all the best today.
Thank you very much.
Reporting from the finish line at the 41st annual bike race, I'm Laura James. Now back to the studio.
Our coverage continues of the new Abbot Library in Sunapee, New Hampshire. It is still under construction, but great progress has been made on the building along Route 11 over the winter and spring. YCN's John O'Connor visited the construction site and reported on the progress and events leading up to the grand opening.
I'm here with Mary Danko and Peter Urbeck at the Abbot Library. As you can see, it's moved quite a long way from where it was this winter. So, Mary, what excites you about what we see here?
We have a floor. There was a lot of work that had to get done before we put down the concrete floor. We have radiant heat that went in, floor outlets in the floor, and all kinds of wastewater piping. So it's really nice to see the concrete in.
And so, Peter, where are we on the schedule? Are we looking for sometime in August?
Well, we have a date now of August 15 for completion, and then we probably have another week or so of moving in, so that toward the end of August we'll be ready to go.
And I understand that there's going to be an open house sometime this month, Mary. When do you expect that will happen?
Yes, we're calling it a construction tour because obviously we're still under construction, but that will be on Saturday, May 31st from 1:30 to 3:30, and we'll have some events going on here, opportunities to sign the floor if you want to do that, and some refreshments. It'll be a fun time.
So the kids could come in, sign the floor, and their name will be here forever?
Absolutely.
So just what else excites you, Peter, about what you're seeing in this construction site?
Well, Mary talked about the floor. You look up the other way, and that's the skylight, which we're very excited about, which will let a lot of natural light in to light up the library.
This is John O'Connor for YCN News. Back to the studio.
Last week, New Hampshire Senator Sen Larson spoke with YCN's Sean Bowman about her political session in Warner. Today, we will show you part 2 of that interview. Senator Larson talks about her thoughts on casino gambling in New Hampshire and her experience in the Senate. Let's take a look.
Do you think there'll ever be a consensus with gambling in New Hampshire? You know, as long as I've been there, there's not been consensus.
On anything.
No, and it continues to fail in the House, which, you know, was constructed with 400 members to try to get a viewpoint of all the people in the state. It's curious because 64% of New Hampshire supports some vision of casinos in limited locations, but so far we haven't been able to get that, and it depends who gets elected. If it passes next time. It certainly got stuck this year.
Always something to look at, you know, something coming down the road.
Exactly.
Now you've reached the milestone too, haven't you?
Well, I'm finishing my 20th year, which is pretty amazing. When I started, my children were still in school, and you know, my daughter's almost 30 now, and so I feel like, you know, I am the dean of the Senate, which makes me feel pretty old, but I also means I've seen a lot. I know how to get things done, and I have had the opportunity to know multiple governors and many talented public servants who've come to give their time to the state. So I've enjoyed it.
Well, you seem passionate about it, so maybe another 20 coming?
20, I don't know, but certainly the opportunities are there, and it's I feel very honored to be in the Senate.
Wonderful. Senator Larson, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
YCN is now better to see with HD TV, over the air and online. Tune in every weekday to YCN News for all that's happening in our communities. Set your TV for the Who, What, Where, and When programs, YCN's Chronicles. Visit with our state's movers and shakers on YCN's Capital Connections. And get all the action on YCN's Game of the Week. YCN is your local view, now in high definition.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now, Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Today we've got a 20% chance of precipitation with mostly sunny skies. Highs will be in the upper 60s with winds around 15 miles per hour. Tonight we'll have cloudy skies with a low of 42 degrees. Winds will calm down to around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday we'll have winds up to 10 miles per hour with sunny skies and a high of 73 degrees. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy with lows in the 40s and winds around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday will be partly sunny around 71 degrees with calm winds and a 30% chance of showers after 2 p.m. Wednesday night will have an 80% chance of rain after 7 p.m. with lows in the 50s. Here's a glimpse of the weather from our northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow morning in New Hampshire, the Claremont Opera House will host a touring production of Peter Pan, the classic fairy tale by J.M. Barrie, at 10 a.m. In Vermont, the Brattleboro Select Board will be meeting at 6 p.m. and the Woodstock Select Board will meet at 7 Tuesday night. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Now we have some weekend high school sports scores to report on. On Friday, the Hanover Marauders girls lacrosse team took on Portsmouth High School and defeated them in a nice 18-6 win. The Hanover High School team is top ranked in the state according to the NHIAA website. Also in girls lacrosse, the Kearsarge Cougars made another great win this season. On Friday, they triumphed over Lebanon 13-6. In baseball, Lebanon High and Goffstown High battled each other in a close game. Lebanon couldn't quite keep up with Goffstown. The final score was 5-3 Goffstown. The Hanover and Stevens baseball and softball teams played games on Saturday. In both instances, Stevens won over Hanover. In baseball, Stevens won 5-4. In softball, Stevens won 9-8.